So again, like I said, we usually start with the word, with the question. So look at this here. What is the writer's main point in the first paragraph? So usually for multiple choice questions, they will tell you exactly where to go to. You will know where to go to. Do you understand? You will know exactly where to go to. For example, now look at this question I'm about to solve now. They have clearly written there that word in the first paragraph. So you know you are going to paragraph 1. Do you understand now? Look at question number 15. What main point does Sherry Tokul make about innovation? Sherry Tokul, what main point? So how do I know where to go to here? I will just go to the passage and I'll go and look for Sherry Tokul. Wherever Sherry Tokul is mentioned, that is where my answer will be found. If you look at the passage now, look at this passage here. Paragraph 1, there's nothing like Sherry Tokul here. Paragraph 2, there's nothing like Sherry Tokul here. Paragraph 3, I can see Sherry Tokul here. That tells me my word. The answer to that second MCQ is going to be in this paragraph 3. So somebody says, how do we know the paragraph to go to? How do we know the paragraph to check? You scan for the keywords. The only way to know is what? You identify the keywords in the questions and then you scan for it. You understand now? You scan for it. So in this case now, where they did not mention a paragraph, what did I scan for? I scanned for Sherry Tokul. I checked paragraph 1, I didn't see it. I checked paragraph 2, I didn't see it. And then I saw it in paragraph 3. That's how you do it. That's how to know. You know it by a technique called scanning and skimming. So I'm going to solve question 14 and 15 now, and then we're going to round up. So what is the writer's main point in the first paragraph? So let's look at the first paragraph. Look around on your next plane trip. Look around on your what? On your next plane trip. The iPad is the new pacifier for babies and toddlers. Younger school-age children read stories on smartphones. Older kids don't read at all, but hunch over video games. Parents and other passengers read on tablets or skim a flotilla of emails and news feeds. Unbeknownst to most of us, an invisible game-changing transformation links everyone in this picture. The neuronal circuit that underlies the brain's ability to read is subtly and rapidly. So this paragraph, first of all, gives us information about what people's reading habits. The first 4 lines that I put in color blue now gives us something about people's reading, the new reading habits in terms of using digital device. And then it tells us that what? Transformation is happening to everybody. What is the transformation? The neuronal circuits that underlines the brain's ability to read is subtly and rapidly changing. And this has implications for everyone. Now, let's go check the passage and the options. So you read the question. When it comes to MCQ, you read the question, go to the passage, and then try and think of an answer. So from what I read in that passage, the point of that writer in paragraph 1 that I can pick is that what? Everybody is now getting, used to reading on digital devices. And that activity is affecting our brain rapidly and subtly. Subtly means we are not noticing it. Rapidly means it is happening very fast. That's what I can pick. Now, I've picked an answer in my head. I now need to come and check these options to look for the option that sounds like the answer that I picked in my head. Now, look at the options. Option A says, our use of technology is having a hidden effect on us. This one is 100% true from what I just read in the paragraph. So I'm going to hold A tight, like my lunch. Nobody must carry my lunch away. A is most likely going to be my answer. But let me check the other options. One of the things I tell people in MCQ is that what? You must be able to tell us what is wrong with the wrong options, even if you cannot tell us what is right with the right options. I call that one answering by elimination. It's one of the techniques for MCQ. Now look at option B. Technology can be used to help youngsters read. No, that's not the point. In that paragraph, they talked about adults reading email. So it's not about technology helping youngsters. It's about technology affecting everybody. So this issue of help youngsters to read is not the point of paragraph A. Help youngsters to read. No, that's not the point. In fact, in their place, they wrote that youngsters play video games. So number B is not supported. I'm sorry, option B is not supported. Option C, travelers should be encouraged to use technology. No. Travelers should not be encouraged. That's not the point. He just said that go to a plane. This is what you will see. He's not saying that they should be encouraged. He just said that this is what you are going to be. This is what you are going to observe. You are going to observe people on the plane using their what? Using devices for different things, even including children. So it's not saying that they should be encouraged. No. You see, if I'm using keywords to eliminate the options. Help youngsters to read. Eliminate option B. Encourage to use technology on planes. No. Encourage to use. No. Eliminate. The issue of encourage to use was not there. This issue of having hidden effects is fully supported. So you are saying that technology is here. Technology is here in option B. Technology is here in option C. Technology is here in option D. All those keywords are there. So you can't use technology as your keyword to eliminate wrong answers. Hidden effects is still making a good answer. Last option, playing games is more popular use of technology than reading. No, they didn't compare in that paragraph I read. They didn't compare playing games. In fact, if you want to be correct, more age group are reading from that paragraph 1, more age group are reading on their digital device than the age group that are playing games. So, ladies and gentlemen, our answer for number 14 is going to be option A. I can see some people picked option A. You guys are doing well. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourselves. Number 15. Let me solve number 15 and then we're going to round it up. Multiple choice questions. Very technical too, but then with practice, you would get to handle it well. Now look at this one. What is the main point? What main point does Sherry Tokul make about innovation? So let's go check the passage. You see that I usually do not read the options because it's possible someone gets confused if you do that. This is not a simple binary issue of print versus digital reading and technological innovation. As MIT scholar Sherry Tokul has written, we do not err as a society when we innovate, but when do we err? We err when we ignore what we disrupt while innovating. In other words, when we innovate, there's something that we are disrupting, and we should not ignore that thing. That's what this man is saying, or woman, I don't know, maybe it's a woman. In this hinge moment between print and digital cultures, society needs to confront what is diminishing. In other words, we should not ignore it. We should confront it. You understand now? What is diminishing in the... So it says that word, in this hinge moment between print and digital cultures, society needs to confront what is diminishing in the expert reading circuit, what our children and older students are not developing. That's the second thing to confront. And number 3, what we can do about it. Okay, now let's go check the options. Or before we check the options, what is the main point? Face the issues that have been affected. Don't ignore it. That's what this woman is saying. Don't ignore those things. Face them. Deal with them. So what main point does Sherry Tokul make about innovation? Technology innovation has led to a reduction in print reading. Well, I don't think that's the main point here. Reduction in print reading. They didn't even mention print reading in that text, in that paragraph. We should pay attention to what might be lost. We should confront it. Yes, option B. We should confront it. Pay attention to it. Don't throw it off. You understand? Option B is a very good one. Option C, we should encourage more young people to become involved in innovation. That's not the point. Young people become involved in innovation. That's not the point. There's a difference between developing product and... No. This one is not even mentioned in the passage. It's not even mentioned in the passage. So our answer to number 15 is going to be what? It's going to be option B. Option B. Option B. Let me do one more, then we're going to round up. Multiple choice questions. Let me give you one thing about multiple choice questions. Okay, let me give you some tips, or let me say something about the options. some options will contradict the information in the passage. Okay, that's one. When you see options like that, ignore them. Some options will do what? They will contradict information in the passage. That cannot be your answer. Some options will include information that is not in the passage. That's another possibility. They are going to inject something that is not in the passage. Okay? And then some options will present information that is fully, that is what? Fully supported by the what? Passage. Whenever you see this last one, that is your what? That is your answer. That is your answer. Okay? That is how to what? To pick your what? Your options. Now let's go check let's go back to our passage. What point is the writer making in the fourth paragraph? So let's go check the fourth paragraph. So this is paragraph 1. This is paragraph 2, 6,000 years ago. This is paragraph 3, MIT scholar. And then this is paragraph 4. So let's read paragraph 4. We know from research that the reading circuit is not given to human beings through a genetic blueprint like vision or language. It needs an environment to develop. So for you to build your reading circuit, what's the meaning of reading circuit? Reading circuit basically refers to the connection in your brain, the connection between the neurons in your brain that enables you to read and understand. That's what they are referring to as reading circuit. For you to develop that circuit, there's an environment that is needed. That's what they are saying here so far. Further, it will adapt to that environment requirement. In other words, that reading circuit will make adjustments to that environment requirement. What are the environment requirements? Look at it. From different writing systems, that's one, to the characteristics of whatever medium is used. Characteristics of what? So in other words, characteristics of paper is different from the characteristics of a computer. It's different from the characteristics of maybe writing on the ground, or different from the characteristics of writing on stone. You know that there was a time that they used to write on stone. Characteristics of whatever medium is used. The brain will adapt to those characteristics. If the dominant medium advantages processes, okay, let me read that again. If the dominant medium advantages processes that are fast, multitask-oriented, and well-suited for large volumes of information, like the current digital medium, so will the reading circuit. In other words, if you are using a medium that involves fast activities, then your reading circuit too will begin to act very, very fast. That's what that next sentence is saying. You see, we are analyzing sentence by sentence, because it's going to help me when I start eliminating options. As UCLA psychologist Patricia Jennifer writes, the result is that less attention and time will be allocated to slower. Can you see what is happening here? Is that what? When you spend more time reading on digital devices, your brain will get used to doing things fast. And then you will now become very impatient when it comes to doing things that involve slow, time-demanding, deep reading processes. Can you see that? That's the point of this paragraph, that word. One of the subtle effects is that word. It reduces your ability to really, really focus on things that require lots of time-demanding activities, especially time-demanding deep reading activities. Let's focus deep reading, and that's the point of this paragraph. Do you get my point? Now let's go check the options. Number 16. What point is the writer making in the fourth paragraph? Humans have an inborn ability to read and write. No, that's not the point. This thing is true. It's an extra information from another place. I just gave you the list of 3 things now. Option A is not what is in the passage. Even though it is true, it's not in the passage. You understand now? And then, wait, oh, I don't even think human beings have their inborn ability to read and write. We learn it. But that's not even what is in the passage. We learn to read and write. So it's not even inborn self. But then option A is not the answer. Option A is not the answer. Option B, reading can be done using many different mediums. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Reading can be done using many different mediums because here they wrote digital medium, then characteristics of whatever medium is used. So that suggests that we can use different mediums for reading. B is a very good option. Let's check C. Writing systems make unexpected demands on the brain. No. Hold on. Unexpected demands. Writing systems. Wait, I saw writing somewhere. Writing. Hey, from different. Hold on. Further, it will adapt to the environment requirements. From different writing systems, it will adapt. In other words, the brain. It's talking about the brain. The reading circuits in the brain will adapt to different writing systems. Hold on. Writing systems make unexpected. This issue of unexpected is not there. It's not in the passage. It just says it will make demand. There is no issue about unexpected. Where is it now? It will the brain will adapt to it. So this issue of unexpected. I will eliminate option C based on that issue of unexpected. Let me still load option B. Option B is a good answer, but it's looking like a weak answer to me. But it's still better than C. And then this A, human beings have inborn ability to read and write. It's not nobody is born with that ability. All of us learn it. Inborn means you did not learn. The one of the inborn abilities that you have is ability to see. Nobody taught you how to see. The day you were born, you saw. You saw your parents, you saw your daddy and your mommy, you smiled, maybe you cried because the environment changed. So ability to cry too is inborn. But nobody came from heaven with the ability to read and write. Option A too is out of it. Option A is completely out of it. Option B is still strong, stronger than A and C. Option D, some brain circuits adjust to whatever is required of them. Some brain circuits adjust to whatever is required of them. Is that in the passage? This passage is only talking about reading circuit. That's the only circuit we are seeing in this passage. This one says some brain circuits. Some brain circuits. Which one of them? See the way I do analysis, multiple choice questions. That's how they give confusion to people. Ladies and gentlemen, option B is our answer. Reading can be done using many different mediums. So look at it. I've told you why option A, C, and D are wrong. Why is option B correct? Reading can be done using many different mediums. Look at it here. This thing says that what? If they from different writing systems to the characteristics of whatever medium is used. In other words, you can use different mediums. And the medium that we use will affect the development of our reading circuits, either positively or negatively. Look at it. They gave one example here, the current digital medium. Remember that if you have been following from the beginning, we know that there's also a print medium. You understand? So that option B is fully supported. So our answer to number 15 is going to be what? Option B. Okay, we have one question left. Let's just solve it and then we'll round up. According to Mark Edmondson, the attitude of college students. So let's look for Mark Edmondson. See Mark Edmondson here. English literature scholar and teacher Mark Edmondson describes how many college students actively avoid classic literature of the 19th and 20th century in favor of something simpler, as they no longer have the patience to read longer, denser, and more difficult texts. Yeah. We should be less concerned with students' cognitive impatience. We should be less concerned. In other words, their cognitive impatience. What's the meaning of cognitive impatience? They are no longer patient to read longer, denser, difficult text. That's what they are calling cognitive patience. Sorry, cognitive impatience. However, than by what may underlie. In other words, don't just what's it called? Don't just focus on the cognitive impatience of these students. Don't just focus on the fact that they no longer have the patience to read long materials. Rather, you should spend more time looking at what is underlying that cognitive impatience. What is at the foundation of that? What is the main root? What is the root cause? That's what he's saying. What may underlie it? The potential inability of, and this is the thing that is underlying, because this thing, there's a colon here. Colon means I want to explain what is underlying it. The potential inability of large numbers of students to read with a level of critical analysis. That's it. That's what is underlying it. A large number of students cannot read with a level of critical analysis that is sufficient enough to comprehend the complexity of thought and arguments found in more demanding texts. So the main thing is that what these students have, their critical analysis level has not been developed significantly to a point where they can read complex materials. So when they see those materials, they just switch off. Like many of us do when we are doing IELTS reading passage 3. We just switch off. It happens. This passage here is basically describing what happens to people in IELTS reading, especially IELTS reading academic, passage 2 and passage 3. Hey! Now, let's look at the question. The attitude of college students has changed the way it teaches. No, it's not about how it teaches. Has influenced what they select. Yes, option B is a very good one. They choose to read shorter stuff than to read longer ones. Shorter and simpler stuff. That's option B. Option B is a very good one for me. Option C does not, hold on, does not worry him as much as it does others. No, he's not comparing himself to others. Does not match the views. No. They didn't talk about the views of general public here. The answer is going to be option B. Has influenced what they select to read. Look at it. As the attitude of college students has influenced what they select to read. Look at it here. They actively avoid classic literature of the 19th and 20th century. They avoid in favor of something simpler, as they no longer have the patience to read longer and denser stuff. So, can you see that? So that cognitive impatience has influenced what they choose to read. So for me, number 17 should be option B. Let me write out my answer and then we'll check the answer at the back and see which one is correct and which one is not correct. So number 17 is what? Is B. Number 16. What did I pick for number 16? I think I picked B for number 16. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15, what did I pick? What did I pick for number 15? No? I think we picked B for number 15, right? How come B is showing up a lot? This is serious. Oh. Number 14, what did we pick for number 14? A. We picked A for number 14. I remember that one. Why is B showing up 3 times? So, these are my answers. Let's check the back of the book. This is test 4. Test 4. Number 14. Okay, number 14 here. Number 14 is A. Number 15 is B. Number 16 is D. Okay. Number 17 is B. So the only wrong one is number 16. Now let's do self-correction. Number 16. They say number 16 is D. Multiple choice questions. Very tricky. Number 16, right? Did they say number 16 is D? Am I right? Is it number 16? Okay, number 16 is D. Okay, let's go and analyze. Let's analyze and do self-correction. Let me show you how to do self-correction. Self-correction means what? You need to check why their answer is correct. Okay? And then you need to ask yourself, how did you arrive at that your wrong answer? So number 16 is here. What point is the writer making in the fourth paragraph? So they said that the answer is D. Some brain circuits adjust to whatever is required of them. That's what they are saying about number 16. Some brain, this one, I think I can remember this, where I was asking that which brain circuits adjust, which brain circuits. So I need to go and check and be sure of this sentence. So let's go and check the fourth paragraph now, closely now, and see whether the point is pointing at, the paragraph is pointing at that issue of some brain circuits adjusting. Now look at this thing here. We know from research that the reading circuit is not given to human beings through a genetic blueprint like vision or language. It needs an environment to develop. Okay. Further, it will adapt to the environment's requirements. What is it? The reading circuit will adapt to the environment's requirements, from writing systems to the characteristics of whatever medium is used. If the dominant medium advantages processes that are fast, multitask-oriented, and well-suited for large volumes of information, like the current digital medium, so will the reading circuit. So that means that if the thing is slow, the reading circuit will also be what? Be slow. Oh, let me check that option, that list of options again. So they said that some brain circuits adjust. So if you give the brain circuits, so I think this thing here, they are referring to the different reading circuits. I think they're referring to different reading circuits. So if you give the brain a reading material that involves digital stuffs, the brain will adjust and become fast. If you give it printed stuff, the brain will adjust and become, normal pace. Develop a normal pace. So I think that's what they are referring to here. Whatever is required of them. Required of them. Now, my option B, why is my option B wrong? That's the next question I want to answer. This self-correction, ladies and gentlemen. You need to ask yourself, why is that your option that you picked? Why is it wrong? So look at it. Option B, I said that word, reading can be done using many different mediums. Is that the main point of the writer? Is the writer saying that reading can be done using many different mediums? Let's go and check. Reading can be done using many, which paragraph again? Fourth paragraph. Reading can be done using many different mediums. So let's check the first sentence. Reading circuit is not only given to human beings through a genetic blueprint. This first sentence is not pointing at the fact that reading can be done using many different mediums. What of the second sentence? Further, it will adapt. In other words, the circuit will adapt to the environment requirements, from different writing systems to the characteristics of whatever medium. This is where I picked my answer from. Characteristics of whatever medium is used. So I just use this just 3 words. 1, whatever. 2, medium. Used. 3, to decide on my answer. And that question says the main point of the paragraph. The entire paragraph. The entire paragraph. So you see my mistake here is that word. I used 3 words. Instead of paying attention to the entire paragraph, I used 3 words in one of the sentences to decide on what my answer will be, which is very, very weak. That's why that answer is wrong. That's my mistake. I should have this first sentence is pointing at what's it called? The reading circuit. The second sentence is pointing at the reading circuit, that it will adapt. The third sentence is also pointing at what? Reading circuit. So that's option D. So I think the option D is correct. I agree with the option D. Some brain circuits adjust. It will adjust to whatever is required of it. If it is required that it becomes very fast, then it was going to adjust and become fast. fast, multitask-oriented, well-suited for large volumes of information. So the brain would what? The brain will adjust. That's, I mean, all this thing here, everything here, everything here is pointing at that option D fully. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that multiple choice questions, even though they are tricky, they can be handled. And how do you handle them? You practice solving what? Lots and lots of questions. You're going to see multiple choice questions in both IELTS Academic and IELTS General. Okay? So this is my challenge to you. Get ready to practice lots of true, false, not given questions, a minimum of 100. Get ready to practice lots of yes, no, not given questions. That's for IELTS academic candidates. That one you can do like 50. Okay? So for those of you doing IELTS academic, that means you have 50, 150 now. Then multiple choice questions, you can do, let's say, maybe 50. Practice about 50 questions. Okay, so that's going to be all for today. If you have any question, please drop your question in the Zoom chat. I'm going to attend to the question as soon as I can. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.